Morning, MUE 304. We are going to look at some examples of Hocket, sharing a melodic, chordal, or rhythmic idea across multiple instruments for a glitchy type of effect. And in this particular session, I have a melodic idea. I've called it my melodic guide. I've just got it hitting a serum patch. Okay, and I want that to be a bit more contemporary, a bit more glitchy. So I am going to send it to multiple presets and get it to jump between them for a bit of randomization, a bit of excitement. And I'm going to demonstrate two techniques uh, using LFOs to jump between different presets. I will show you how to build these in just a second. I have an instrument rack, which we'll talk about in a bit. And I have a wavetable preset, a serum preset, an operator preset, another operator preset, another operator preset, and another serum preset. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to get this LFO, or these LFOs, nope, just the one, to hop between the different instruments, which we will call as chains for this video. It therefore sounds like. And there's one other technique I will be demonstrating as well, using more velocity and expression control to MIDI effects to jump between these instruments. So two ways to add some Hocket to your productions. Mr. Bill's going to show you a third one. Mr. Bill is very nerdy, a SAE graduate, and his technique is quite advanced and arguably not as simple as it could be. So we will start with these two examples. Example number one, using an LFO. So let's rebuild this one. MIDI track, Shift Command T on a Mac, and we are going to jump into an instrument rack. Instrument rack allows multiple instruments to be stacked. And so let's jump to serum. Let's grab some random serum patch. This is serum 2. Let's just choose something random. Let's go a lead, euphoric lead. Okay, I'm now going to show and hide the chain list. So in instrument rack, you have the possibility to set up multiple chains here, multiple different instruments, etc. So I've got one serum. Let's go to operator. Instruments. Let's just grab analog. Let's grab operator. Okay, these patches are going to be very basic for this demo. I will just change a few oscillators. Another operator, I'll leave that on sine. Let's add a bit of FM synthesis in there as well. And let's chuck in a wavetable. That'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different possible synths. Let's just make wavetable a bit more interesting. Goodness knows what this is going to sound like. Let's go to a bit of FM as well. Okay. So duplicating that MIDI data, holding the Alt or Option key, dragging the MIDI clip down. We now have an instrument rack with these 5 presets, and at the moment they are all going to play. Which doesn't sound too bad, but isn't the effect I want. Okay, so currently I'm going to hop over to the chains. And chains, if you're asking what chains are in Ableton Live, chains refer to separate signal paths within an instrument rack, drum rack, or effects rack. Each chain receives the same input, MIDI data, but processing, same input signal, but processes it through its own unique set of devices, offering a way to create multiple instrument or effects profiles within a single device rack. Okay. The chain selector allows you to choose a specific chain or combination of chains, enabling versatile sound selection and effects manipulation. And that is what we are going to do. Currently, all these chains are on chain 0. So I'm going to select all of these, Command A, and drag all of their chains across the possible 128, 127, but they start from 0. So a possibility of 128 samples or instruments. Distribute ranges equally. Now, that MIDI data will play whichever preset I am hovering over in regards to the chain selection area. Currently, we're using that 3rd operator. Now we're on to the 4th, onto the wave 2, back to analog, back to serum. Now we can just do this manually, and like everything in Ableton, my chain selector is mappable. So we could sit here, experiment, and dial in our favorite movement within the chain selector. Or we could go a little bit more on the nature of Hocket and just choose a randomizing device to give us our Hocket. I haven't extended the range enough. Let's go like this, all the way up here, and so forth. You can see the chain selector loaded around here. Okay, but let's make our life easier. I'm going to select all of that automation and just get rid of it. Double click. Okay, this chain selector, I'm going to map to my macros. I'm going to right click, map to macro, my chain selector, and I'm going to get a modulating device, a low frequency oscillator, and I'm going to get that. I'm going to click map, choose my chain selector, and now we have the chain selector being modulated. I'm going to turn that amount up to 100% so it goes across the whole range. And now we're going to get a modulation in a sine wave pattern. Slow it down a bit via the rate, goes through all of our patches. Now that may be a bit too predictable for you, So just note that we have sine, up, down, all these different shapes. So if I want to make it completely random, I can also choose random. Turn up the rate a bit. Okay, so that is demonstration number one of, in my mind, the easiest way to achieve Hocket. And we're going to go into one other possible example. So that was Hocket using LFOs. This one is exactly the same, but it's using velocity and expression control to Ableton MIDI effects to achieve the same modulation of the chain selector. So note there's no LFO used in this one. I have arranged the chain selectors for each of these to give them a range, and I'm modulating the chain selector, which has been mapped over here. Exactly the same as the LFO example, but rather than mapping the LFO, I have mapped the velocity to this chain selector. So let's duplicate this, Alt, drag down, get rid of velocity and expression, and rebuild this. So the velocity is coming in, and this plugin, what we're doing is we're randomizing, we've turned random up as high as it can go, the velocities that are coming in. So we're randomizing the velocities, and then as the velocities are being read by our expression control, those random velocities are being sent as a signal to our chain selector. We can click target here, map, chain selector, please. And it's going in a unipolar. We can change to bipolar, unipolar, just in regards to the movement. And it sounds equivalent. Okay, and let's rebuild this. So velocity, expression control, out of there. Okay, these are found within your MIDI effects. Velocity. So at the moment, there is no velocity changes throughout this. Each of these MIDI notes are exactly a velocity of of 100-ish. Okay. So we want to randomize that first. Shift tab over to my instruments, velocity. So I'm turning up random, and I am going to turn this down to 64. Got the out high and the out low just set to 64 in the middle, so that the randomized possible velocities spread across the whole possible velocities. Okay, now I need expression control. Okay, and it defaults to having its first source as velocity. So we're all good to go here. So velocities, yes. Let's output the whole range. And let's map this to our chain selector. Solo this. All right. Two simple ways to do Hocket. Mr. Bill is now going to take you through a quite complex and fun way to do it as well. Incorporate one or many of these techniques into your productions for a glitchy, sort of contemporary take on glitch techniques. Hope you're well.